What's the Islamic position on karma? Hasib Qamar has asked a question. Karma, people, is when we say, like, because I've done something bad will happen to me. In Islam, there is no karma. Now, ironically, although in our books we do state that, but in practice, most Muslims seem to believe in karma. Which is really weird, because karma is actually a Hindu and a Buddhist kind of belief structure in which your deeds come back and haunt you. Now, to some extent, this can have a reality on the ground regardless of religion. Like, your deeds coming back to haunt you could mean that, look, like, I commit a crime and now I get caught out for the crime. So my deeds have come back to haunt me. And by that standard, obviously nobody would disagree with that, because that's just the laws of the world. That's just the way of the world, the laws of nature. It could be that I, for example, I rob somebody today and then they find out and then they retaliate. And so I don't mean karma at that level, because at that level that's just following the natural laws. But I mean karma in the sense of people will feel that, like let's say I've been a bad person in some, but I will get punished in an unrelated way, nothing to do with the actual incident. They're not talking about so I don't know, like let's say I cheat somebody out of something. Now somebody will cheat me out of something. This is how many Muslims, I don't know about most, but many Muslims seem to believe this, like what goes round comes round. In some ways it helps them not do bad things, so I guess it has a good side to it. I mean, Islamically it's not upheld. There's no beliefs. In fact, Sheikh Nafrawi in his Fawaqi al-Dawani writes explicitly at the beginning that we as Ahl Sunnah, he says, we do not believe that our sins decrease our rizq. He says we do not believe that. So our rizq, our provision, what God has written for us, which we don't know, by the way, what that is, but whatever God has written for us does not go down by sins. So because I've committed sins, therefore I'm poor. That's not the authentic Islamic belief structure. That Allah takes away our rizq because of... Now there is something, but there is some Islamic talk about blessings. Now people then can easily mix these up. They can say, well, surely, you don't have blessings if you commit a life of crime. And that is true. So people who are living a wretched lifestyle in terms of, let's say, dealing drugs, they're living off crime, that surely the barakah of the livelihood of these people will be taken away. Now, what is barakah? You see, it's more from an Islamic perspective, it's a subjective experience, something that you will experience in something, that you are never quite content. It's a contentment that is removed, that we believe that Allah doesn't bless those people, that they don't have. And remember, the thing is, in Islam, there is this concept that the dua, the prayer of the madhloom, the oppressed, is heard by God. If you are oppressing people, they are crying out against you. Now, we do believe that Allah, if He chooses and He answers those prayers, that you may see some consequences to that. Now, how will that consequence be? We don't know, because we don't know the future, you see. So I'm not saying, I want to be clear here, because this karma question can be quite confusing. I'm not saying that you can't be tested in this world through different things. You can be, and Allah may be testing you because you've been oppressing people. That may be the case. It doesn't have to be the case, but it may be. I mean, these are things we don't know, because we don't know how the mind of God is working. I also do believe that if you do good things like giving charity, that there are more blessings in your rizq, in your provision. This sounds counterintuitive. You think, well, what on earth are you on about? If I give in charity, I don't know, how does my wealth and things get blessed? But it actually seems to work, as bizarre as it sounds. I mean, if you try it, give out in humanitarian causes, and you'll see wealth come in sometimes from places that you don't expect. Now, one may say, well, that was going to happen anyway. Okay, maybe. Well, we don't know until it happens. The Islamic argument would be that was from Allah, that was a blessing. So for example, in the Islamic sources, taking care of your parents increases in your rizq, in the Islamic understanding. So these kind of things. But when I said karma, I meant in general karma. Like let's say I don't pray, and now because I don't pray, that's a sin. Now because I've lived in sin, this is according to some understanding, therefore Allah is reducing my rizq and He's punishing me like that. This kind of thing doesn't happen according to Islamic sources like that. That's what I was trying to explain. I hope that makes sense.